Tendulkar's family and coach shaped his success. Context: Sachin Tendulkar's emotional farewell speech during his retirement highlighted how important the role of family, friends, and teachers is in the journey to a successful career. Messages from a close member of the family act as a guiding lamp in a child's life. He had mentioned how each and every member of his family had encouraged him in some way or other because of which he could excel in cricket. He is known to be one cricketer who never had any rivals nor did he abuse anyone, with moral and ethical sportsmanship. Even after his retirement, all his public endorsements were very carefully selected. He had denied advertising for many alcohol and cigarette brands. This is why he was called God of Cricket. I have seen God. He bats at number 4 for India. Matthew Hayden. Sports Ethics Mankading. Context: Indian all-rounder Deepti Sharma ran out England's Charlie Dean standing outside the crease at the non-strikers end at Lord's, giving India a 3-0 ODI series sweep but triggering outrage that has traditionally accompanied incidents of mankading in the sport. What is mankading? The term comes from the name of the legendary former Indian cricketer Vinu Mankad. In 1947, when India was playing a series in Australia, Mankad dismissed opposition batsman Bill Brown twice by taking off the bails at the non-striker's end before releasing the ball. Ethical and ethical debate. Ethical. The laws of cricket make it quite clear that the non-striker must keep within his ground until the ball has been delivered. By backing up too far or too early, the non-striker is very obviously gaining an unfair advantage. Unethical, it has been allegedly called as violating the spirit of cricket. Laws on mankading. Malaban Cricket Club (MCC), the custodian of the laws of cricket, accepted mankading as a normal mode of running out the non-striker, removing it from Law 41 unfair play, and clubbing it with Law 38 run out. There have been several instances in men's test matches in ODI cricket. The most talked about recent incident happened during the 2019 IPL when Ravichandran Ashwin ran out Jos Butler in a game between Kings Punjab and Rajasthan Royals. Corruption reflects a crisis of ICS values. Context: Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent Independence Day speech revealed his anguish and exasperation as also his passionate campaign for more transparency and honesty in public life to reduce corruption. Even after 75 years of independence, we continue to be branded internationally as a corrupt nation. Areas which have issues: dishonesty of government officials, both in the higher echelons and at the bottom. This evil prevails both in state administration and in a few bureaucratic segments at the center. Real estate corruption remains unbearable in areas such as the registration of documents relating to buying and selling property and sanction of planning permissions to put up new buildings. Political issues. The reference to the demand for a plum portfolio during the formation of a government is nauseating and has many dismaying connotations. Corruption in law enforcement. Police departments all over the country are notorious for their dishonesty. There are hardly any among the 10,000 or more police stations in the country which can claim they are free from the malady. Few suggestions given. Public participation. Handling corruption is supposed to be a joint endeavor between the government and the public. Without a union of minds and endeavor, little can be achieved to enhance our moral credibility. A bribe taker cannot flourish without a bribe giver. Education in ethics. Unless our future generations are indoctrinated in favor of honesty in their careers, there is precious little to hope for them. Ah. Insights on India. Com 63. Whistleblowing. Direction. We had already covered whistleblowing in detail earlier. You can value add a few points from this article into your notes along with the earlier article. Context. CNN and the Washington Post newspaper reported that Peter Machzatko, a former head of security at Twitter, had filed a whistleblower complaint with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, which among other things alleges that the Indian government forced the social media network to hire its agent, who then had access to sensitive user data. Role of social media mediator. Being a mediator, it is their duty to secure the privacy of people. Compromising privacy leads to a loss of public trust. Ethical duties. Social media should have a strict code of conduct regarding appointing and regulating these platforms. You can go to our previous article on whistleblowing. Can civil servants express their views on law and governance? Context. A senior IAS FISR, Smita Sabharwal from Telangana, tweeted from her personal account in support of Bilkis Bano and questioned the Gujarat government's decision, sparking off a row over whether she was in breach of the Central Civil Services Conduct Rules of 1964. As a bureaucrat, was she wrong in tweeting this? Yes, she was wrong as disciplinary rules. They prevent a government servant from becoming a member of a political organization, or any organization of such a nature, or expressing herself freely with regard to anything that has to do with the governance of the country. She is not a stakeholder in the decision making process. She was right. Laws by the legislature. A fundamental right cannot be curtailed except by a valid law made by a legislature. Lipika Paul v. The state of Tripura. The court said, a government servant, the petitioner, is not devoid of her right of free speech, a fundamental right which can be curtailed only by a valid law. Subject to not crossing the borders laid down in the conduct rules which were applicable in Tripura. Kerala High Court. One cannot be prevented from expressing his views merely because he is an employee. Constitutional principles and rule of law. The dharma of the civil servant is to uphold constitutional principles in letter and in spirit and the rule of law. In this case, both the spirit of the Constitution and the rule of law were being subverted. Is Rule 9 of Central Civil Services Conduct Rules violation of Article 19 of the Constitution? Rule 9. No government servant shall make any statement of fact or opinion, which has the effect of an adverse criticism of any current or recent policy or action of the central government or a state government. Conduct rules. Freedom of speech is given in the Constitution, but these are conduct rules and they are imposed because there has to be some discipline in an organization for that organization to function. Is it time to ungag civil servants when it comes to commenting on government decisions? Creating more transparency about policies through social media is the duty of a government officer. It can be taken on a case by case basis. Insta links. Central Civil Services Conduct Rules. Mains link Q. Initially, civil services in India were designed to achieve the goals of neutrality and effectiveness, which seems to be lacking in the present context. Do you agree with the view that drastic reforms are required in civil services? Comment. UPSC 2017. Surrogate advertising. Direction. It was already covered a few weeks back. This is in continuation of the previous article regulating misleading advertisements. Context. Center has directed advertising agencies to ensure strict compliance with the guidelines on surrogate advertisements. Observation of the center. It has been observed that many alcoholic spirits and beverages are being advertised under the garb of music CDs, club soda and packaged drinking water, whereas chewing tobacco and gutkha has taken the veil of fennel and cardamom. 64 or Insights on India. Com. Surrogate advertising is a form of advertising which is used to promote regulated products, like cigarettes and alcohol, in the disguise of another product. In India, tobacco products and alcohol cannot be advertised openly under laws like the Cigarette and Other Tobacco Products Act, 2003, which bans all kinds of direct and indirect advertisements of tobacco products. To circumvent them, surrogate advertising is done. The Central Consumer Protection Authority has come up with the guidelines for prevention of misleading advertisements and endorsements for misleading advertisements, 2022. This also bans surrogates. Penalty. It prescribes monetary penalties to the tune of 10 lakh rupees for the first offense, which can go up to 50 lakh rupees for subsequent offences, and imprisonment of up to 2 years under Section 89 of the Act. The negative impact of surrogate advertisement. It violates the right to be informed of negative effects and the right to be safeguarded against potentially unsafe products. Central Consumer Protection Authority. It is a regulatory body established in 2020 based on the provisions of the Consumer Protection Act of 2019 and works under the Ministry of Consumer Affairs. Mains link Q. Today we find that in spite of various measures like prescribing codes of conduct, setting up vigilance cells commissions, RTI, active media and strengthening legal mechanisms, corrupt practices are not coming under control. A. Evaluate the effectiveness of these measures with justifications. B. Suggest more effective strategies to tackle this menace. UPSC 2015. Mental health challenges in the Formed forces. Context. Court of Inquiry's findings about a case of fratricide at a border security force BSF camp in Amritsar highlighted that the person who shot his colleagues had shown signs of mental stress, but these signs were not given enough attention. The constabulary accounts for around 85% of state police and CAPFS. These personnel perform their duties as directed by their seniors. Uniformed forces are tightly structured with a command and control hierarchy system. A senior officer is the reporting authority for his immediate junior, and this junior has to fulfill their tasks with manpower under his/her command. The hierarchy is rarely breached. The system ensures discipline, clarity of roles and accountability. However, it tends to become inhuman, especially to those who cannot communicate their personal issues in an appropriate forum. To cope with the difficulty of such a setup, personnel often resort to alcoholism and drug abuse. What needs to be done? Good leadership. Police leaders must increase communication with all the ranks. The enforcement of discipline has to go hand in hand with concern for staff well-being. Regular communication. Regular Sampark Sabhas need to be conducted where personnel can air their grievances and proper follow up action must be taken on all possible issues. The seniors of FIs should be open to all ranks. 24 bata 7. During random inspections on the field, friendly communication with personnel on duty increases his trust in the leadership and dedication to duty. Appreciation, reward, and recognition act as big motivators. Often, the incentive system is at the women fancy of the head of the organization. It has to be formalized in every setup. Regular team meetings and outings. It has also been established that sports and cultural programs increase bonhomie and create bonds between personnel who support each other during crises. Spreading awareness. Police personnel should be made aware of mental issues and related concerns so that stigma surrounding it is gradually removed. Dignity at the workplace and pride in the uniform compensate for any lack of resources. But this has to be reinforced with proactive interventions. Assisted suicide. Context. Jean-Luc Godard, one of the legends of French New Wave cinema, died by assisted suicide at the age of 91. Insights on India. Com 65. Godard had recourse to legal assistance in Switzerland for a voluntary departure as he was stricken with multiple invalidating illnesses, according to the medical report. Assisted suicide is allowed by Swiss law under certain conditions. Physicians and organizations are allowed to provide assistance to suicide within the framework of the law and under the medical codes of ethics, as per Le Monde, as long as there are no selfish motives. Why are assisted suicide and euthanasia controversial topics? They have long been contentious topics of debate as they involve a complex set of moral, ethical, and in some cases, religious questions. Countries that allow assisted suicide. Several European nations, some states in Australia and Colombia in South America allow assisted suicide and euthanasia under certain circumstances. Fig. Jean-Luc Godard. Euthanasia. The term euthanasia is derived from Greek, literally meaning good death. Taken in its common usage, however, euthanasia refers to the termination of a person's life, to end their suffering, usually from an incurable or terminal condition. It is for this reason that euthanasia was also coined the name, mercy killing. Types of euthanasia. We had already covered euthanasia in detail before. Please check this Insta link given below. Insta links. Ethics of euthanasia. Hate speech through visual media. Context. Expressing its anguish and displeasure over hate speeches via debates on TV channels, the Supreme Court called the visual media the chief medium of hate speech and questioned the government why it is standing by as a mute witness when all this is happening and treating it as a trivial matter. The bench underlined that hate drives TRPs, drives profit, basically going against media ethics, and said it will consider laying down some guidelines which will hold the field until the legislature comes up with a law on the matter. Pointing out that hate speech can be in different forms, sort of ridicule a community, and its spread through the visual media can have a devastating effect. The bench of Justices K.M. Joseph and Rishikesh Roy, inclined to regulate such debates, asked the center to state whether it proposed to come up with any law on the subject. The bench was hearing a clutch of petitions on alleged hate speech via some TV shows. The petitioners have sought directions from the court to the center to take steps to curb incidents of such speech. Hate speech. The United Nations Strategy and Plan of Action on Hate Speech defines hate speech as any kind of communication in speech, writing, or behavior that attacks or uses pejorative or discriminatory language with reference to a person or a group on the basis of who they are. In other words, based on their religion, ethnicity, nationality, race, color, descent, gender, or other identity factors. 5 Core Principles of Ethical Journalism. 8. Truth or accuracy. Journalists cannot always guarantee truth, but getting the facts right is the cardinal principle of journalism. Always strive for accuracy, give all the relevant facts we have and ensure that they have been checked. Though independence, journalists must be independent voices. Should not act, formally or informally, on behalf of special interests, whether political, corporate, or cultural. Theme. Fairness and impartiality. Objectivity is not always possible, and may not always be desirable in the face, for example, of brutality or inhumanity, but impartial reporting builds trust and confidence. 4. Humanity. Journalists should do no harm. What is published or broadcast May 66 or Insights on India. Com. Be hurtful, but should be aware of the impact of our words and images on the lives of others. 5. Accountability. A sure sign of professionalism and responsible journalism is the ability to hold themselves accountable. Quotes. Social media provides a global megaphone for hate. By Antonio Guterres, United Nations Secretary General, 2021. Mains link, Q. Hate speech poses complex challenges to freedom of speech and expression along with spreading hatred. Do you think curbing hate speech in visual media through legislation would be effective? Thus, M. Content for Mains Enrichment, Ethics, Essay, Arts or Culture and History. Festivals and Connections with GIONS. This can be used as example in interrelating festivals, cuisines and regions. Modak, which is connected to Ganesh Chaturthi. Its ingredients include some of the Deccan's famous crops like Ambamoha rice. On the Western Ghats inland areas, we have fried modaks which are made of wheat flour, sugar and coconut along with cardamom. But on the coast, there are steamed modaks made of rice flour. This is a special type of local sticky rice called the Ambamoha. The word modak is derived from the Sanskrit moda, meaning happiness or bliss. Cultural infrastructure. Along with social and digital infrastructure, India is also working on cultural infrastructure, e.g., the newly inaugurated Kartavya Path. Importance of cultural infrastructure. To have a sense of unity among people, protecting historical and cultural structures, increasing tourism, thus boosting the economy. Indigenous toys. Ministry of Women and Child Development (MOVT) is using indigenous toys and DIY, do-it-yourself toys in the Anganwadi centers to educate children and their families about healthy living and good nutritional practices. Examples of indigenous toys used are Gujarat terracotta toy, Andhra Kondapalli and Etikopaka toy, Karnataka Channapatna toys, Tripura bamboo toys, Queen Elizabeth or Insights on India. Com 67. Importance of books. Direction. This time UPSC has interlinked topics in SAEG economy with forest or English literature, poets with polity. So, Having some basic knowledge outside your area of competence becomes important. In this context, we will be bringing up certain abstract topics. You don't need to remember or note down. Just go through it once. Importance of books. Books carry vast knowledge. Encourage critical thinking. They are pollinators of our minds, spreading self replicating ideas through space and time. For young readers and students, introduces them to a world of imagination, provides knowledge of the outside world, improves their reading, writing, and speaking skills as well as boosts memory and intelligence. Magical power of words. Books are, as Stephen King put it, a uniquely portable magic. Gives voice to people against authoritarian regimes. Books carry knowledge, and knowledge is power, which makes books a threat to authorities, governments, and self appointed leaders alike. Issues. Censorship of books is on the rise, e.g., China continues to ban books in schools that are not in line with its form of socialist core values. Dr. Zhivago by Boris Pasternak was despised by the Soviet government, banned books in India, e.g., Taslima's Nasreen Ledja or the Ramayana as told by Aubrey Menon or Salman Rushdie's The Satanic Verses. How to revive book culture. Forming and supporting book clubs. Government, through policies, should ensure books are affordable. Encourage online reading of books and use of virtual libraries for students. Introduce Dear Drop Everything and Read. It was started in the US by children's author Beverly Cleary. Society. Productivity paranoia. Microsoft Chief Executive of FISA Satya Nadella has coined a fresh term called productivity paranoia. It happens when leaders think their employees are not productive, whereas employees think they are being productive and in many cases even feel burnt out. Managers' fears about idle workers are creating what Microsoft Chief Executive of FISA Satya Nadella calls productivity paranoia, with undesirable results like spying on employees. Polity. Landmark Mary Roy case in SC. Mary Roy, the mother of author activist Arundhati Roy, has passed away. She is best known for the Mary Roy case, the prolonged legal battle that ensured equal property rights for women from Kerala's Syrian Christian families. Mary Roy sued her brother, marking the beginning of a case that is seen as a milestone in ensuring gender justice in India. Governance. Punjab bans Sarpanch proxies. Panchayat Sarpanch Patti. Male kin of women can't attend meetings of Panchayat as the Punjab government order. Sarpanch Patti, where men relatives, mostly husbands, of elected women run the off FIs in place of them. Aptly shown in the recent web series, Panchayat. Previously, the Panchayat Raj Department of Madhya Pradesh had asked to take action against relatives of elected women representatives who administer the official oath on her behalf. 68 or Insights on India. Com. In a first in Bihar, the district office goes paperless. Saharsa has become the first district in Bihar to have gone completely paperless. Benefits. With the new system in place, diesel and fertilizer subsidies can be sped up for farmers. Decision making is fast now, files can be tracked anytime now. Work never suffers because it is easy to track and locate a file. The new system also provides better security and confidentiality of files. This example can be mentioned in benefits of e-governance digitization. Sarpanch pawns her gold and takes the loan to install CCTV in village. Madhya Pradesh newly elected female Sarpanch Ashabai Kathwas of village Panchayat Jhiri in Burhanpur has emerged as an inspirational Sarpanch. The woman Sarpanch has pawned her jewelry for the security of her village and installed CCTV cameras in the village to keep the village safe. She couldn't get the fund from the government on time. This example can be written as a dedication to public service. CM DAHAISI. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh has launched a web portal to enable people to redress their grievances and provide a platform to raise corruption related issues. 3 phone numbers, including 2 men for the anti corruption cell, have been made available on the portal. CM Dahasi, let's inform the CM. This will further enable us to bring transparency and accountability to governance and the delivery of public services. Chhattisgarh's initiatives for AWCS. The Bari project is an innovative welfare scheme that promotes organic backyard farming in the centers. Vegetables and fruits grown in the Bari field are being consumed at the center itself. Milk obtained from the Gothan was provided to the children free of cost. This would prove useful in eradicating malnutrition among children. It will improve facilities in the field of early childhood care and education. EK. New Zealand push for simple land gauge bill. Direction. This example can be mentioned in GS2, SAN ethics as initiatives taken for good governance. New Zealand has presented a bill in Parliament, which highlights the use of plain and simple language in official communication government legislation. Legislation will require government communications to be clear and concise. This would also mean accountability and inclusivity. Insights on India. COM 69. Urban Planning Data Fact Points. Most Indian villages do not have any waste management infrastructure, a study released by the non-profit Pratham Education Foundation. Public waste bins were observed in only 36% of the 700 villages across 15 states that were covered in the study. Just 29% had a community waste collection vehicle, while less than half the villages had access to a sanitation worker or Safai Karamchari. These trends were observed across all states and districts. Education. Delhi Virtual School. Delhi Model Virtual School, which he said was India's first, and said it will bring revolutionary changes in the field of education not only in the national capital but across the country. Any student from India can apply on the website or the MVS Act in and get enrolled. The platform will also provide students access to a huge digital library, and the content will available 24/7. Wonder on Wheels. Brihat Bengaluru Mahanagara Palike, BBMP Commissioner launched Wonder on Wheels, an initiative to introduce art and cultural activities for Anganwadi children, in collaboration with NGO Free Thinking Foundation. This is the continuation of the Montessori School on Wheels program launched before. The bus is furnished with detachable seating, shelves and storage to allow for free creative movement. Art craft, musical instruments, library books and audiovisual systems, and permanent art and craft teachers will be present on the bus. Case study, Community Virtual Class Learning CVCL. World Vision India, India's largest child-focused humanitarian organization, collaborated with Global Indian International School (GIIS) Singapore and piloted Community Virtual Class Learning (CVCL) for 20 students of classes 4 and 5 aged 8 to 13 years from two schools in Agra and Chennai. GIS students from classes 11 and 12 facilitated CVCL and tutored the students in English and mathematics through Zoom calls. The outcome demonstrated a 70% increase in students who could read and comprehend the English language. Around 35% of them were able to read the newspaper and 70% improved their competencies in simple arithmetic. This case study can be used in essay governance to show how technology can be customized to students' needs. Dedication to teaching. Narayani, teacher 65 years old, has been walking 25 kilometers every day to give tuition for children in her area. Despite having never attended college, her passion for teaching started at the age of 15 and now she is expert four languages: English, Malayalam, Hindi and Sanskrit. She begins her day at 4:30 a.m., returns home by nightfall after teaching 100 of students. 70 Insights on India. Com. Disability no challenge. Rubber Girl Anvi Vijay Zanzarukia sets an exam. Play. Anvi Vijay Zanzarukia, popularly known as Rubber Girl, who has made a name for herself in Yogasana through her hard work and resourcefulness despite her physical and mental disabilities, has been awarded the Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Bal Puraskar. Anvi has lived with three health challenges since birth: congenital heart defect, for which she has undergone open heart surgery, trisomy 21, with 75% intellectual disability, and Hirschsprung's disease, a condition that affects the large intestine colon, and causes problems with passing stool. Against slavery. Brick by brick. Tamil Nadu's Tiruvallur district has long been notorious for the prevalence of bonded labor. The workers are primarily members of the Erula community that falls under the Scheduled Tribe category. District Collector Dr. Olby John Varghese first proposed the project of SHG by co-owning and operating a brick kiln with these workers. Approximately half of the total production was sold to the projects under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana PMAY scheme. This initiative can be mentioned in Ethics Answers: Good initiatives taken by civil servants to ameliorate the issues of minorities. Sports. Serena Williams, the woman who changed the game. Serena Williams waved farewell to the US Open and her illustrious career. Her achievements are without parallel. Williams won a total of 23 Grand Slam singles titles. Grand Slam title won in Melbourne while 8 weeks pregnant. Overcame personal tragedies after the death of her sister Yetunde in a drive-by shooting in Compton in September 2003. Went through postnatal depression, two pulmonary embolisms, and an undercurrent of racism. Meet the Champion Initiative. Meet the Champions is a unique school visit campaign that was kicked off by Olympic gold medalist Neeraj Chopra in December last year and has reached various parts of the country over the past few months. During the school visit, the champion athlete shares their experiences, life lessons, and tips on how to eat right and also give an overall inspirational boost to school children. Achinta Sheuli. From embroidering necklines on women's kurtas and working on fields in Howrah. West Bengal too, winning a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games, CWG, Achinta Shuli has come a long way. The 20-year-old won gold in the men's 73 kilograms category weightlifting. This can be used as an example of hard work, struggle and dedication. Or insights on India. Com 71. Old age, baby workers, at Japanese nursing homes. A nursing home in southern Japan is hiring babies for a very important job to keep its elderly residents company and make them smile. The facility, Ichong Nursing Home, is in Kitakyushu, a city of 940,000 in Fukuoka Prefecture that is aging and shrinking like the rest of Japan. As families have become smaller and older people more isolated, the nursing home's baby worker program has helped people connect across generations. GOODFELLOWS, a startup offering companionship to senior citizens. Shantanu Naidu, the founder of Goodfellows, supported by Ratan Tata, started a startup that aims to provide companionship to senior citizens, and is a big believer in how much generations can learn from each other. Senior citizens who subscribe to this platform are paired with graduates in the age group of 18 to 30, who over a course of time form meaningful bonds with them. Rising need for companionship. Shoji Morimoto charges 10,000 yen $71 per booking to accompany clients and simply exist as a companion. Morimoto reflected on the bizarre nature of his job and appeared to question a society that values productivity and derides uselessness. So many are willing to pay for the simple companionship that, in a less disconnected world, would be freely available, speaks of a profound malaise of loneliness. Theme: Mental health. Looking within. Virat Kohli returned to cricket after a month-long break where he got the answer to life's widely asked existential question, which generally leads to self-discovery. Who am I as a human being? He himself acknowledged that he had been faking intensity on the field recently. He has also been brash and immature. This show the values of acceptance, even one's weakness, humbleness, and the importance of work-life balance. Cognitive Dissonance 72 or Insights on India. Com. Women and Gender. Inclusive Workspace. Accenture believes the magic of pride is that it pushes the boundaries to make us perceive people beyond stereotypes. The company's inclusive policies help Shoaib, a transgender woman, always feel supported at the workplace. Top 5 cultural issues that employers should address to create a gender inclusive workplace. True acceptance begins with the organization's top leaders. Sensitizing people right at the start as they are becoming part of the organization is crucial to avoid unconscious bias that may be prevalent. No matter their background or gender, all employees should feel welcome. Leaning towards 40 years of unlearning, changing the traditional mindset of the leaders and making them more vocal, employees should feel safe raising concerns with and about leaders, especially when it comes to harassment and discrimination. It is only when these things are done, and steps are taken in this direction, that a workplace will be able to achieve its goal of inclusivity. House applauds its women MLAs. This example can be used as a solution to the persisting issue of less participation of women in the legislative process. In a first of its kind initiative by the UP Legislative Assembly, a day was reserved for women members to speak on issues concerning them. The special session turned out to be an eye opener for political parties as they discovered new orators among them. Some cited anecdotes, others quoted former US First Lady Michelle Obama and French philosopher Albert Camus, making many of their male counterparts sit up and take note of them. International relations. India managed to get many things right during COVID, says World Bank. Directions. It can be used as an example in mains about India's successful management of the pandemic. India's successful management of the pandemic, COVID-19 Emergency Response and Health Systems Strengthening Project, jointly funded by World Bank WB and Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank AIIB. Expert panel. An expert panel was also put in place to develop specifications for overalls, goggles, and N95 masks, which supported the Health Ministry's long term market development and production of emergency medical equipment AIM in India. Preventing fraudulent business practices. Indian agencies caught a company from Singapore trying to dispatch millions of substandard Chinese KN95 masks to India in 2021 by forging a third party inspection certificate. Empowered inter-ministerial groups. India managed efficient distribution of medical supplies nationwide and had early restrictions. Testing laboratories. India managed to scale up from 18 to over 2,500 testing laboratories rapidly within 4 months and become ready to face future pandemics and health emergencies. Economy. Revamped curriculum on EMPLOYABIL. IT skills. It has been launched by the Ministry of Skill Development with support from Future Right Skills Network collaboration of Quest Alliance, Accenture, Cisco etc. To skill India's youth. It will provide 120 hours curriculum to over 15,000 industrial training institutes to help them self-learn 21st century skills. Insights on India. Com73. Data points automation has impacted jobs in banks. Data show that increased ATM usage, surging online and mobile transactions, and a reduction in the number of new bank branches have reduced footfalls in banks and led to the rapid decline in the strength of clerical staff. This trend was observed in both PSBS and private sector banks PVBS. However, it is worth noting that the number of officers in PVBS is 3 times higher than in the PSBS. Agriculture. Grafting a wonder for reviving ancient trees. Context. Kerala State Biodiversity Board declared Kannapuram in the southern Indian state of Kerala an indigenous mango heritage area in 2020. The honor came after the villagers had got together to grow over 200 indigenous species of mangoes, sourced from surrounding towns and villages, preserving diverse varieties that were in danger of dying out. The technique that made it possible is the age-old art of grafting. Grafting involves building a new plant by connecting the organic tissues of two plants, often of the same species. Plants from a different genus or different species can be grafted too, but in many cases, the outcome is weaker, short-lived, and sometimes, they never come together at all. Grafting can occur naturally as well. Meghalaya, a state in India's northeast, is famed for its living root bridges. Several trees have closely intertwined roots that form aerial bridges strong enough for people to walk over, helping them navigate steep slopes. The roots fuse and repair themselves through a process of self-grafting called enisculation. Environment. Earth is now our only shareholder. Environmental cost of meat. Factory farming of animal products for human consumption is fueling climate change, according to a new report. Across four major hotspots, the annual consumption of chicken alone creates the same climate change impact as keeping 29 million cars on the road for a year. World Animal Protection has asked governments to stop giving approval for new factory farms for the next 10 years. It called for reducing animal production by at least 50% by 2040 and insisted on introducing compulsory minimum welfare standards for animals. Expanding green cover. Fazilka district of Punjab has become a trendsetter in expanding forest cover. As of 2021, according to data from the Forest Research Institute, the district had just 1.34% forest cover, 74 raw. Insights on India. Com. One of the lowest in the state. They launched a pilot project called My Village, My Forest, develop a forest by applying Miyawaki method. In less than a year, the efforts have borne fruit with the area now full of firm plants such as Kachnar, Neem, Arjun, Ashok, Jamun, Guava and others. Benefits of this project. The forests give residents of the villages a sense of belonging. As these forests are being raised by our villagers, it gives us a sense of belonging, a desire to protect and conserve them. The workforce required for making lakhs of saplings is coming from MGNREGA. Freedom Fuel. Vishakha Chandhere has spawned a quiet revolution of sorts from her city of Pune to beat the rising prices of cooking gas or liquefied petroleum gas (LPG). Chandhere cooks food on her three solar cookers. The first has a parabolic reflector that heats the base. The second one is an insulated box with light reflected mirrors on the base and the lid. And in the third cooker, food is placed inside a vacuum tube that concentrates light to generate heat. Food can be boiled, steamed or roasted in any of the three cookers. Chandhere in 2018 launched a startup called OrjaBox to share the lessons she had learned and to promote clean cooking devices. Turns seaweed into 100% dissolvable, low-cost packaging. After quitting her job at Google, Neha Jain launched Zero Circle, a startup that converts seaweed into low-cost, eco-friendly plastic alternatives for packaging and more. Zero Circle uses largely red, brown, and green seaweed, which amounts to about 12,000 species. After collecting the seaweed, it is dried and turned into a powder, which is then turned into the final material. With this, they make handbags, bags for clothes, film for food, and more plastic alternatives. Water or fire resistant, DIFFERNITURE, from Wastewood. Akriti Kumar from New Delhi established the furniture, which makes sustainable furniture out of waste wood. They create a wide range of pieces including chairs, tables, sofas, consoles, outdoor furniture, lighting, baskets, furniture, and more, all using discarded wood. She says she does not use any synthetic polishes or toxic materials to make the pieces, and that the resultant furniture is fire and water resistant. Her work has also earned her a place on Forbes 30 Under 30 list. Ah. Insights on India. Com 75. Ripe for a green economy. Over the years, with the help of Vasundhara, a non-profit working on tribal rights, women of Kodalpalli, Sinduriya and neighboring villages in Odisha's Nayagad have formed a federation of village protection committees at the block and district levels to save forest. Their forest usage rules apply to all. Fuel wood is to be collected only on Sundays. Green trees are not be felled. No grazing during the monsoon. And collection of minor forest produce, like bamboo, kendu, tendu leaves is to be done only by the village households, not by outsiders. Previously, Muduligadia, a village in the same Nayagat district, had earned the prominence of the first eco-village of the state. Swachtoycathon. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs (MOHA) will launch the Swachh Toycathon under the Swachh Amrit Mahotsav with the aim to explore solutions for the use of waste in manufacturing toys. The competition is a convergence between the National Action Plan for Toys (NAPT) and Swachh Bharat Mission Phase 2 (SBM 2.0). It is hosted by MIGOV's Innovate India portal. National Action Plan for Toys (NAPT) 2020 was introduced to promote the Indian toy industry including traditional handicrafts and handmade toys with the objective of establishing India as a global toy hub. World Rivers Day. World Rivers Day is celebrated on the fourth Sunday of September every year to increase public awareness about rivers and to encourage their conservation. Case study. Sneha Shahi, a student who cleaned the Vadodara stream, highlighted the importance of a bottoms up approach for cleaning rivers and rejuvenating them. Back in 2019, Sneha Shahi, then a student at the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda in Vadodara, Gujarat, led a team of students and volunteers to clean the Bukhi, a natural stream that had turned into a sewer. Her efforts enabled wildlife such as crocodiles, turtles, fish, and birds to return to the Bukhi. According to her, working on a smaller water body would be more logical and feasible because these feed into the main river. Technology 76 or Insights on India. Com. Cyborg cockroaches to help in urban missions. An international team of researchers led by Japan's scientific institution, RIKENS Cluster for Pioneering Research CPR, has devised a system that can create cyborg cockroaches that are part insect and part machine. They claim that these insects, whose movements are controlled by tiny integrated circuits, will be able to conduct surveillance in procedures like urban search and rescue, environmental monitoring, and inspection of areas dangerous to humans. Sari clad robot receives startup's loan documents from bank employee. EES. In an interesting turn of events, a Kerala based startup did something out of the box while receiving their loan documents from bank employees. They brought a sari clad robot to receive the documents. A video of the event was also shared online and has stunned people. Ma Robot. Goa resident Bipin Kadam has built a Ma robot that can feed his disabled daughter when he is off to work and his wife, who has vertigo, is indisposed. What makes this invention even more special is the fact that Bipin has no background in robotics. After studying till class 10, he had to start working due to family circumstances. He started off as a helper at a manufacturing company and has worked his way up to being a CNC designer and programmer. The Marobot works on a voice sensor based on the food item that his daughter Prajakta mentions. The robot, which has attached spoons and cups, picks up the food and feeds it to her. Security How a podcast helps solve a murder. The Teacher's Pet podcast, which 60 million people have listened to since 2018, reinvigorated the demand for justice when the journalist Hedley Thomas set out a circumstantial case that Dawson had murdered his wife, Lynette, in 1982. The judge found it to be true, and Chris Dawson has been found guilty by the court. This example can be used to highlight the positive impact that media journalism has on criminal justice. She teaches in school once blown by her. Ranju Devi is now a respected name in Chomara village of Jamui district in Bihar. She has started teaching children in the same school. 10 years back, an Naxal extremist father-in-law blew up the village school building. This example can be shown as giving back to society. Courage teaching in a Naxal affected area, community service at sea. Oh. Insights on India. Com 77. Ethics. A story about accountability. Marta Temido, the health minister of Portugal, resigned after she was criticized for her handling of the situation involving the death of a pregnant Indian tourist and the overall healthcare services in the country. Temido, in a sentence, said that she no longer has the conditions to exercise the position, which the Prime Minister accepted. Bengaluru doctor runs 3 km to beat the traffic to perform crucial sur. Gary. The TRAF-FIC gridlock prevented Dr. Govind Nandakumar, a gastrointestinal surgeon at Manipal hospitals, from performing urgent laparoscopic gallbladder surgery. Dr. Nandakumar abandoned his car and rushed 3 kilometers to complete the necessary surgery because he realized that if he didn't, the female patient may be put in danger. This example can be used to show dedication to work ethics, compassionate. How an IPS officer used soft policing to crack down on illegal hooch. Tejaswi Satpute, a 2012 batch IPS officer, launched Operation Parivartan, a 4-point action plan that combined soft policing methods such as counseling with a concerted crackdown on the Hath Baat Teas or the hand-operated illicit liquor distilleries in the police district. A year later, nearly 80% of the Hath Bhattis in Solapur rural have shut down and over 650 families involved in the trade have been rehabilitated. Satpute was awarded the FICCI Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce or Industry Smart Policing Special Jury Award for Operation Parivartan. 78 or Insights on India. Com. Our founder or director, Vinay Sir, with 120 toppers of UPSC CSE 2021 at the felicitation ceremony conducted at Bengaluru. Have you subscribed to our podcast channel yet? Join us every week or listen to stories that will reignite your imagination or inspire meaningful actions. Oh, Insights on India. Com 7980. Insights on India. Com all. Insights on India. Com 81. Download this app, visit our social media pages. Insights on India. Insights underscore years. Insights ES tips. Insights underscore years. Podcast channel. Insights IAS. 382 all. Insights on India. Com all. Insights on India. Com 83.
पैक करेगा। हमने कहा इतने रोड कैसा नहीं आया कैसा भी, एक बिल्कुल ऐसा था हमने कहा बहुत खराब रोड। अब उसका भी रेट में क्या बढ़िया रहा, बढ़िया रेट चल रहा वो भी। एक तो महंगी रुई महंगी है, 200 रुपये किलो रुई। क्या नहीं कोई रोड निकाल ला, हमने क्या बहुत बढ़िया बढ़िया रोड आ जाता साफ साफ बिल्कुल जरिए का। और पैंट वाले ले लें जो पैंट वाले में होता है तो हमें दें वो टेलर में भर के और ऊपर को चढ़ा दें। ब्याह में शादियों में कौन देख रहा कैसा रोड है कैसा नहीं। ये टेंट वाले ले लें, मैंने कहा जब गर्मी आएगी जरा दिन मौसम हो जाएगा कम मौसम, अदर अगर जगह देख लेना हमारे वास्ते। attı yani hepimizi.